Another all-new episode of Carolina Sports Talk starts now.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel that thing that's oozing out your doggone hands? That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Can you feel that?
Welcome back to another episode of Carolina Sports Talk. As always, thank you for tuning in on your favorite podcast app, joining us live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and everything in between. You can hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net, or to be a part of the show while you're not watching live with everybody else. And once again, it's on We Out Here. I got to give some love to my main man and yours, DJ High Star, representing, rocking with the boy. What's good with it, brother? Man, it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left them without some dope sports to step to, but you know.
Wait. You said, go ahead, Brad. You said it's been a long time, but who left them?
We collectively, we are unit.
Okay.
We
exactly, bro. No, I thought you
solidarity,
you.
brother.
Yeah, I thought you slipped you in there somewhere.
Oh no, nigga.
Get my share. I'm trying to get my shares out or whatnot real quick.
The dramatic pause there was perfect for me, dog.
Right.
What's been going on with my dog, man? What you been up to, man? How did the people let them know what you're going on? Where you been? I know we'll talk.
Well, really, I appreciate you asking. I just been chilling. Prayer, chilling in the crib, minding mine's a little oatmeal here and there, not too much honey.
Some festivals.
Watching Bloomberg and CNN. BBC television, stuff like that.
How was Dreamville Fest, man? Go ahead and let the folks know how it was, bro.
It was lit, of course. Why, of course. Come on, man.
I hate that I missed it, but nonetheless,
a lot of people hate that they missed it, but here we are.
Although I will say, a couple of folks who were there this year, who I know were, there last year, said it wasn't quite the same, but it did seem like there was a lot of people out there, man. Shout out to the president of St. Augustine's College, however you want to say it, Dr. Marcus Burgess. I saw some pictures of him representing out there.
Yeah.
Getting his new reset going on out there at St. Aug. So shout out to him. But
yeah, I was able to hang out with him a lot on Saturday. But what I wanted to say about it is they had a lot of, as far as star power and stuff like that, it may have not been lived up to some of the past years, but every year they improve. So examples included them having what's up, my bye to my neos out there. But every year they improve. So this year, for example, this was the first year they let you bring bottles in there, Stanley cups alike, no ad, but water bottles. And you just had to show that they were empty. So you just had to, before you went in there. And then they had water stations, so you can fill your water up throughout the day. Also, I shared with you yesterday, they had a free Narcan stand. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a free Narcan stand. Just for those who like to indulge in, some party drugs, if you will. They had that on standby so that everybody is, I guess, responsible. But if you, it's a festival, no, absolutely, because what you accept is that it's a festival environment.
Okay.
So you accept those things that you can't control, and you just put out things in
maintenance is to prevent
and just have stuff in place, right? So outside of that, and then the other neat thing that they had this year, I shared with you yesterday, they had this thing called like the 179 Deli, where it was like in the middle of the park, but it was actually like an all-purpose pop-up thing where they sold chewing gum and chips and honey buns and stuff. I don't think they sold lighters, but you get the point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rolaids or Tums or whatever, goodie powder, stuff like that. And they, everybody made money though. It's 52,000 people.
Man, oh man, oh
an
man.
ocean of 52,000 of them things. Well, about 30,000 of them things was fangs out there. Okay. Let's not forget DJ High Star.
Enjoying himself. Listen, BBIs are a whole different conversation and a whole nother podcast. We saw on Instagram a gentleman with his BBL today, and it was like, "Hey,
Wait,
yo,
what?
is this?" Yeah, I said what I said, my boy. And Buddy was buying this little Porsche truck, and I was just like, "Yo," and like the car, like it was a bad car. I'm not gonna lie, but like it's like, "Yo, what?"
Flagrant. All right, move.
Yeah, highly.
But
But talking about flagrant though, before we release from Dreamville Fest, you and I talked about it off air yesterday, but I wanted to get your thoughts on air about Cole's apology for the diss track. In case you guys missed it, this past Friday, Thursday or Friday, he dropped a response to Ken Lamar's.
Get it together. K. Kendrick Lamar.
Then they wanted to get the Lamar in there, but Kendrick Lamar's low, I guess. Lamar dot. But long story less long, what are your thoughts? What did you feel about what he said there at Dreamville, kind of apologizing for it and saying, "Yo, that was out of character from me"? What are your thoughts?
I didn't have any issue with it. I actually, in the moment, kind of, to myself, applauded it or whatnot, but also I don't it's like I don't not understand why people are upset and in arms. I'm just disappointed that they are so invested emotionally and upset and in arms about his decision to do that. It's reflective of us as a culture, because we do the same thing with football and basketball, where we're just bloodthirsty and we see these people or humans as commodities, and we always project what we want them to do or what we would do in the situation. We always project that up on the person. This guy, like I just mentioned, had 52,000 people showing nothing but pure love for him, singing his songs back to him. So in an apex of a moment like that, I can absolutely understand where he chose higher frequencies rather than low vibrations and, oh, let's get it started because this is rap and I'm gonna take somebody else's head off. Not to mention, when you think about some notable diss tracks and stuff from hip hop, because it is a competition sport. When you look at the gentlemen that have engaged and gotten the most flagrant or whatnot, because it gets personal. There's no way to avoid that in a rap battle. When you look at the gentlemen that have done some of the most scathing diss tracks, these gentlemen were about 24, 25, maybe 30 at the most whenever they were doing this stuff. Cole is about 40 with a family. Again, I understand everybody. And when people do retort with well, he said that he was number one, he shouldn't have been talking all that trash on first person. Everything that he's done to a certain extent in his career, although it's been for him, has been for his fans and the people that rock with him. Quick story about J. Cole. Of course, when he first came out, one of his notable organic grassroots things that he did was $1 in a Dream tour. He's charging $1 to his fans. He was going around in different cities, actually visiting the fans and going in their house, playing video games, and you know what I'm saying, and eating dinner with their family. So he always had an ear to what people were saying or what the criticisms were about him, right? The critique. Everything that has been critiqued about him, he's followed suit and responded to. They said at first, yo, you produce all of your own stuff and you write and you do. It's kind of the Russ effect. You do all of your own stuff in-house by J. Cole. Everything's by J. Cole. Let's see what happens when you get different producers. He did that. Smashed it. Okay. You just talk too much about college and stuff. You don't brag. This is rap. You don't talk braggadociously enough. You don't really big yourself up, and you know what I'm saying? He ended up doing that the last 2 years. You don't get on features. He got on all these features the last 2 years, embodied everyone. So everything that we have pushed him to do, he's done. And I think, again, when he realized the fruits of my labor are really in these people singing my song back to me, showing me nothing but love, and it's all good energy. It's not my stake or my crown at number one because I slayed all these other rappers. My wealth is right here amongst these people that love me.
And at this point, what does he really have to prove to anybody? and any and everything. He is who he is, and he's done it and said it. So
And Big Cliff, here's the thing. You know I'm DJ High Star. So my biggest thing is most of these people have not wrapped a Christmas gift, okay? Most of them have not sold a Girl Scout cookie and are the biggest mouths in this thing. Not to mention the reason that people really are mad, if you pay attention, is because it's taking food out of their mouth. J. Cole is fine. Kendrick is fine. Drake has been fine. All of them are fine. It's taking food out of bloggers' mouths. It's taking food out of, quote unquote, hip hop journalists or whatever, because you got this news cycle to run. Guess what? By Friday, it's going to be a little stale. By next Monday, it's definitely going to be an old story. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now, as you talk about old stories, I definitely want to pause before we jump into the sports. And this is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your main man, Big Cliff, sitting in with DJ High Star. We back, y'all. I want to talk about old. I want to give a shout out to the old logo behind my head. Some of y'all may know it. Some of y'all may recognize it. Some others may not. But we doing a little throwback for a little while, man. I guess since we getting back to our roots and giving you guys what we feel like y'all need to have, we're gonna be giving some throwbacks to the old Carolina Sports Talk logo, including some swag. I got some old magnets and everything out here. So y'all make sure y'all tuning in and checking it out with us. We'll get some opportunities for you guys to win some stuff. I know one particular fan, shout out to Amy, still waiting on her stuff. So we're going to have to link with that soon.
We're going to get you the old and the new. Throwback, retro stuff, and the new and improved.
Yeah, so shout out to that. But let's jump straight into sports, man. One of the biggest stories of the week was the amazing performance of some dynamic ladies. You want to rap a little bit about that, bro?
Absolutely. And in the famous words of my man, Coach Prime, play me my theme music. Just want to show a little bit of love this week. Listen, Big Cliff. Oh,
listen, it was
are you scrubbing? Are you scrubbing this, bro? Just let it ride.
Look at Amy. She's patient. Shout out to Amy.
Okay. Okay. So this is nowhere near 52 seconds. Gotcha.
Actually, it's past. We had a minute and 5 now.
Right. No. And I got all okay, that's what we wait for. Shout out to the lady.
15 is what we really meant. Got it. So shout out to the women Gamecocks of South Carolina, who have secured their 3rd national championship title in a slobber knocker battle against the Iowa Hawkeyes, 87-75 on Sunday. Bro, we talked a little bit about it yesterday. So give y'all a peek behind the curtains. We get an opportunity, High Star and I, before we go live, and we kind of do a little pre-show on Tuesdays.
Sometimes.
When we do lives, almost the last several times. Anyway, this particular time we were kind of pre-show discussing, and I told him then it felt like an NBA game.
Thank you, Brandon. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Thank you, Brandon. I was like, what? Go ahead. It felt like a
Listen, y'all ain't never heard slobber knocker?
Me and Brandon are
flag out. Shout out
me
to
and Brandon are creating chaos right now. Go ahead.
But nonetheless, meanwhile, Jim Ross. Shout out to my dog Jim Ross, man. One of the legends in broadcasting. But the game, to me, the atmosphere that was there, the amount of eyes, absolutely, with the viewership, not just in this championship game, but throughout all of really the whole women's tournament, but especially that Elite 8, Sweet 16, and down to the championship. Dynamic. Yeah. Just so, what are your thoughts overall with that? You chime in on either the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net, or those who are live, go ahead and throw something in the comments and let us know what you think about the Gamecocks as well. But High Star.
Yeah, and y'all feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Do all of that online stuff. But to your point, to just add on to your point, let's talk about during the regular season how on fire Columbia was. You know what I'm saying? Just the energy that this has infused the Columbia and the Midlands area with as a whole. Anything that's like non-Clemson right now. Well, if for all of those that are listening outside of the Carolinas, normally in South Carolina, if it's non-Clemson, so anywhere from Greenwood area all the way up to Greenville and then all the way through kind of Gaffney and stuff, depending, is normally Gamecock Nation. So this past season, we've been around when Alshon Jeffries of the world, Steven Garcias of the world, stuff like that have kind of excited Colombia, but no, like Dawn Staley is the most untouchable or like the most protected, you know what I'm saying, figure in the city of Colombia right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves her, and so to fast forward though to the basketball play, just shout out to the women for consistent play all season. Like one of my knocks on, are we gonna do this, man? Are we gonna do this?
Apparently, this is what's happening. But go ahead.
This is the only way that we can. This is the only way. I'm sorry. This is the only way that I can show love to the women's basketball game is to explain how bad he used to. They used to, all right, so you don't even want, okay. They used to not be able to make a layup, bro. Let's talk about it, okay?
Women or just women's basketball in general?
Women's basketball, bro. College basketball. I know you do, and that's fine. But let me get my jokes off. Thank you. Now you'll have your one-off superstars and things like that, great athletes and things. And I will say women's basketball on the high school and college level fundamentally is played better than the guys at this moment. So I will say that. Go ahead. Because
I'm just listening.
You down to say something?
No, I'm not. I'm just listening. I'm just listening how wrong you are. Go ahead.
Looks like Isaiah agrees with me out there. So can you highlight his? Can you pin his? Pin Isaiah's
Which one?
Nah, the other one. The LOL for real. That all right, so maybe I'm talking about whenever I was a young adolescent or something like that. Perhaps. But I'm just saying I have bad negative connotation of women's basketball. And it's not like the dream team beating up on Martin and Tommy and Cole. It's like, no, I remember I can, but I'm just saying now you got the agility of girls like Fawali's and your Swatkins. But go ahead, Meg, because I don't want to. Go ahead. I want you to retort to my first, that first point.
Here, sir, is why you.
All right. The theatrics. Yeah, we get it.
You are a microcosm of so many across this country that have had a negative expectation and or belief of what women's basketball is. And you were simply wrong.
I don't think my expectation has been negative, bro. My experience and connotation to what said experiences have been negative. And I will say this as well, real quickly. Salute, rest in peace to our frat brothers. You know what I'm saying? Wife, ex-wife and stuff like that. But we have, be quiet, Brandon. We have a lot of people since Big E. Shout out to Big E. There's a lot of older gentlemen that's in my life that have been in that women's basketball, you know what I'm saying, knee deep. You know what I'm saying? So I have an appreciation for it. The evidence hadn't impacted. That's all I'm saying. Don't project it like if that's my expectation. Nah, I don't expect for them to do bad. But go ahead. Continue.
For real this time. So what you have done is categorized women's basketball as a whole based on your experiences and or what you have seen and witnessed. But I myself have had the opportunity for several years to not only be a part of dynamic high school squads, to have seen really great women's squads, but to think about some of the Ruby Birds of the world, of the Miriam Walker Samuels of the world, who were long since great players, to see out in Frances Marion, who's the true all-time leading scorer in college basketball. There have been dynamic women for a long time. It was because they weren't as flashy as the men's game. Some would lean on the fundamentally they were better, or that they had, their game was more boring, or the Carolina King himself, Frozen Poet, Jason Lee. I'm not watching no women's basketball because they just be up and down the court. It ain't no fun. And I can't tell you the last time he's probably even watched a game. And so the WNBA for at least the last 10 years has been like that, bro. The college basketball scene with women, since going back to like when Breanna Stewart, who's probably now in her 7th or 8th year, Candace Parker, when she was out there dunking with
Maya Moore.
So for years,
Tamika Holdsclaw.
it's been a really great level of high play with women's basketball. It's just becoming more mainstream now. And the athletes, in much similar to the way that we've talked about how the NBA just had like this boom where everybody was suddenly like freakishly crazy good. Now the WNBA is getting ready to experience that same boom because of
Absolutely.
the focus that has been paid attention to not only in the high school and college leagues, but now with AAU being what it is, and women having the opportunity to play with men to get better training and to
That's what I
become
was
better
just about
athletes.
to mention.
It's now all morphed to now it's where it's a lot more centered, and you can get girls from the hood of Baltimore who can win a national championship and bring more eyes to the sport. Or you can have your Caitlin Clarks of the world who literally all they do was train in same way that many women would only do certain other things. Those athletes are now coming over to basketball, but they've really always been into me. And so, yeah.
Well, I mean, your point. There's no flaws in your point at all. With what you just now said, I definitely agree. Girls playing with guys, it happened whenever we were growing up, but it was more far and few in between. Now it's more kind of normal again that your Malaysias of the world and stuff like that. Even though she's generational talent, you could tell that that's, you know what I mean? Well, of course, their whole squad, if you know the story about their practice squad and stuff like that, you know what I mean? They play against men and everything like that. And I don't want to get it misconstrued at all. Say it again.
Been doing it. I said, and they've been
Right,
doing
right.
it.
So I don't want to get it misconstrued.
If you remember Jonathan, dark skin with the dreads, used to play over at Beulah. Jonathan went to Carolina and was originally and he back in I want to say 2017 was one of the guys that played against them.
When Dawn first got there, I remember us talking about Jonathan or whatnot. But I do want to make mention, like, because when I grew up in New York, again, we both witnessed a couple awesome things in sports when we were younger that we didn't realize how important they were. So the beginning of the Carolina Panthers franchise, or these expansion teams like your Jaguars of the world and things like that, but also the inception, of the WNBA. So some of them first superstars is who I'm familiar with. Definitely, of course, like your Cynthia Coopers of the world, Teresa Weatherspoons from the Liberty, of course, Rebecca Lobo, of course, your Lisa Leslie's, like I mentioned, all the way through. So there's always been those talented ones, and there's, hyperbolic is for the show and stuff that I was saying as far as missing layups. But again, it was just a quality of play overall at that college level where it wasn't exciting enough for me to watch multiple games. For me, like, you know what I'm saying? And this is at one point. I can't pinpoint what era it was, but it's just, again, that's what I pulled from that time. And how 180 it is now to me than it was as far as just the excitement or whatnot.
Who won the Stanley Cup last year?
I don't care.
Exactly. And because you don't have that personal draw towards it, it's not a piece of information that you know and or the perspective that you can say on how the Carolina Hurricanes fell very closely short in the Eastern Conference Finals last spring. And so it's just about what interests you and what you're drawn to. The game is, again, it is at another level. I'm not denying that, but to say that it's a 180, your perspective is a 180 change.
Right,
in that.
right. I agree.
But nonetheless, we all, I think, can agree that women's basketball is on the high. You talked about it and alluded to it a little bit, that the Elite Eight was nasty like that. Which was one of your favorite games in the Elite Eight, or any players that you definitely want to give a shout out to?
The Southern Cal game, definitely, with UConn. I said it at the beginning of the basketball season in my best Dick Vitale voice, that there's some diaper dandies out there or whatever like that. Your freshman diaper dandies from thing that's getting, you know what I mean, that's gonna have a great year, and they, true to form, did that. So Juju, definitely from Southern Cal. She's a female, Carmelo Anthony. Just her size compared to everyone, how she is on the wing and able to attack, her mid-range game, her jumper, from long range. She's like that, and she's only going to get better or whatever like that. So her against Paige Beckers, that was interesting. Does Paige have one more year at Connecticut?
I believe she does because of the medical red shirt from getting hurt last season. So yeah.
Got you. Yeah, so that was fun watching them too, because Paige is a bigger athlete as well that handles the ball. That's the next iteration of kind of that women's game that I'm looking forward to is like those LeBron, KD type esque, athletes that are parallel to LeBron and KD, like the wing players that are going to be able to be like kind of point forwards and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see that. But Caitlin Clark, man, as advertised, the first knockout, or the first important knockout to me, was Friday night against LSU. I want to say no, that was Final Four Friday night. Yeah, Final Four was Friday night. So whatever day it was last week that they played LSU, that was a good game. That was a good game.
It was.
Go ahead, because rematch from last year's championship.
Yeah. So the LSU game, I think, was probably one of my favorite ones, simply because I didn't like either of them. I talked trash all season just with how much they were pumping Caitlin Clark. And now I got to be real, because I'm real. She's like that. Shorty's vision, we talked about it last night. Her vision, her ball handling, her shooting,
decision making,
her just her basketball IQ, even a certain surprising high level of athleticism. She's there. I don't like how they essentially what's Kelsey's girlfriend's name? Taylor Swift. I don't like how they Taylor Swifted her, and just every time you turn around, it's just putting her out there. Oh, the greatest player in the. Even when giving her props, Dawn said it from the stage, giving her championship. She's like, hey, got to give you acknowledgement. You are one of the GOATs. You're not the greatest all time. You are nice. You like that. You got the truth. But and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like they gas that thing. It's almost like the Tebow effect. When sports media gets a hold of something, they feel like, oh, we got to run it into the ground to, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
If you're Caitlin and everything is true behind the scenes about everything, are you considering seriously the $5 million?
Okay, for those who may not have known or heard about it, there is a report out that Caitlin Clark has been offered $5 million to come and play for the Big Three, as opposed to going to the WNBA.
Not sure the terms. Want to make that clear. I'm not sure the terms. I don't think too many people are sure of what the terms would be, right?
Right, because again, it's just a purported amount and figure at this point. But if I'm her, I'm absolutely considering it, because now knowing who she is, she probably won't, because to Brandon Pearson, shout out to Be Easy, if she would have won a ring, she'd have been the GOAT. Conjecture, speculation.
If was a fifth,
right? But having not having won one, I think she's going to the WNBA to try to win a ring.
Absolutely. Brandon said, who's she gonna guard? I don't think it's about that, Brandon. At the moment, the format of the Big Three, the way that it's set up with that half court setup of the 3-on-3 vibes, she can get her jumpers off. She could still, get her passing and stuff. And it'll be tough. It wouldn't be easy and like she'll walk through it, but it's bigger. It's a bigger statement for Ice Cube in the league versus her, and maybe being, one of the highest paid players or whatever in that league, or, making that statement of her getting the $5 million. And a lot of people have added like kind of, oh, well, why is it just that's genius to me from Ice Cube. We're going to get the white girl and we're going to make her make a decision about, is she going to stay with the establishment, or is she going to rock with something just radically new and, you know what I'm saying, never before heard of it. She just, that when you put dollar signs out there, it makes you stop and be like, well,
it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah, well,
if nothing else, you got to take it as what it is in face value, and like Isaiah just said, it's a money grab all the way around. And at the end of the day, I think that's what it is. Now, there was a question in the chat, and we appreciate you guys throwing the questions out there and the interaction. This is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your man, Big Cliff, DJ High Star, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and it'll be up on the podcast tonight. But the question was asked by Isaiah Blake. Shout out to my dog from the Charlie 0843 West Ashley, the West. We out here. How do y'all feel about lowering the rims? I'm going to be honest. I don't hate the idea. Now, for the shooting and the continuity of the game, I understand that it's probably not the best idea. But imagine women's basketball. Huh?
Give me a height as far as the rim.
If they lowered it by 8 inches, women dunking. Hung. Full Wally can already dunk now as it is at 6 foot. And if you give her 8 inches more, like imagine her coming off a fast 360 in or 180. Oh.
You'll have Cardoza. And by the way, I'm the same way, Be Easy. Like some of the women that I grew up with, hoopers, cooked and roasted dudes. So, but I asked that because you got to make people like Cardozo or Aaliyah Boston and stuff like that. They got to look like Wemby out there, you know. They already are tall and lengthy and stuff like that. It just be, they'll be looking like Wembenyama. Real quickly, Brandon. Well, I'm sorry.
Who was just ridiculously tall for no reason.
Oh yeah, and kind of whatever. They, it's the end of the season now, so they're trying to come into their own. But we'll talk about NBA later. But yeah, outside of again, that shout out to honestly during that Iowa Elite 8 game, Flau'jae was playing like she was playing very well. Flau'jae Johnson, for those that don't know, but I was rocking with her effort because Angel Reese tweaked her ankle in the second quarter and never was quite the same. Half an inch
lowering the rim.
I mean, right, but half an inch.
Oh, maybe
lowering it to 9 feet and 11.5 inches from 10 feet. Yeah, no. So yeah, I think already if the basketballs are still kind of how they always have been, right? With women's basketballs being a little bit smaller, that in itself, man. Because
now here's my reasonable compromise: have an all-star game for both the college and WNBA, and you can lower it just for those all-star games and let them boy have a dunk contest. And I'm with that. Because at that point, now we cooking with something. You know what I'm saying? We cooking with gas. Javelin, shout out to you guys, Isaiah and Brandon and everybody else get in the comments. But overall, women's basketball is like that. Now I want to touch on it just a second as well. What I am excited and looking forward to is the Olympic teams.
The
women's
talked a little bit about that. Yes.
Yeah, the women's basketball team roster has been announced. Man, oh man, I'm trying to get it to load right now, but they have some dogs playing. Namely, Candace Parker is on the squad.
I could bring some up off the top that you.
Bucket Beckers is going to be on the squad. Caitlin Clark. We've got Asia Wilson. They got Aaliyah Boston is out there as well. Like it is definitely.
Cardozo, of course, would be playing for her country or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, but like, U.S. women's team is just going to be crazy good, bro. Like,
we talked about it, but go ahead. I was going to say reminiscent of 96, definitely.
To me, this is the women's dream team of all time. I'm not even going to hold you. It's looking like it's going to be like that, bro. I'm excited for the squad, and I'm definitely looking to see. Like, I'm looking at the squad now, and here we go. So we've got Ariel Atkins, Aaliyah Boston, Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Brittany Griner, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi.
I said Brittany Griner making her little.
Yeah, BG's like, yo, I'm out the pen now. What you want to do? Like, it's fitting to be. It's fit. Yeah,
they stepping out there. They stepping. So I saw something now. This will bring me into my next team. That's who I'm most impressed with, of course. But there was a social media. There was a social media. Brandon is disgusting. I'm talking about Bernie Sanders at this point. Okay, be easy. That's what I want to know. Write into our show and let us know if you think that she's still good or not. Brand, be easy.
So the question is for our podcast listeners who aren't reading everything we're putting up on the screen right now. Right. The question was asked: is Brittany still good?
Referring to Brittany Griner, I'm assuming.
After having spent some time incarcerated, we saw that after 2 years incarcerated, Mike Vick was able to come back and still be at least competitively good. Now she spent significantly less time. Plus, I'm sure they had like a yard where she was able to, lift some weights and shoot some basketball. Definitely, Isaiah probably want to keep the vape at home this time.
That's stereotypical, bro. It's not the longest yard, right? I'm sure that they had some free weights for it.
It's Russia, bro.
I'm sure she was the MVP of the. I'm sure she was the MVP of the prison basketball league.
Listen, if they had to use some peach baskets over there.
What I'm saying is she wasn't even trying to work out. Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that Brittany Griner wasn't over there talking about her with somebody named Helga spotting her on.
Last set. All right, that's enough.
No. What you were saying though, bro?
I was bringing up this question that I saw on social media, or it was a suggestion. Somebody said that Dawn has been asking for it for the longest. Is it time for the South Carolina women's team to change their name?
No.
Got you.
And let's put a poll out.
Do you know what question I'm alluding to or post I'm alluding to?
No, I don't. But so you think that they ought to not be the Lady Cox anymore?
No, I'm saying that's the post that I saw. I'm not saying that I have a horse in the race either way, but the post is people are tired of the Lady Gamecocks moniker. They feel like the women's basketball team should just be the, you know what I mean? I guess the Gamecocks. I don't know. Right. That's what I'm saying, Brandon. It's where it gets tricky. So should they be the hens? I don't know what a lady. What's a lady gamecock? A hen?
And then a lady gamecock. But here's the thing: the attention that this squad is getting because they are who they are. Cool, I get it. The University of South Carolina was founded in 1801, and they have been the Gamecocks since I think like 1830 something or whatever.
Okay,
y'all mad? Like.
Ooh.
They've been this for like 160 years.
Like asking that question. I think it's the Lady Gamecock part that and it's really like I saw some, woman basketball fans that I'm familiar with that we went to college with that was really posing that question. But it's, that's like they just updated us men a couple years ago that female isn't really shouldn't be using that term like that. You haven't heard that? That's more biological, so you got to use women. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to use women. You ain't never heard that?
So technically, it is the women's teams, but they are the Lady Gamecocks, women's Gamecocks. They're the what you want them to call them, the chicks? Like what at this point, what are we doing, bro? They ball and let them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, all I'm doing is asking the question. Okay, I'm reading Amy's answer too. All right, shout out to A. Liz. Okay, in her eyes,
it says,
huh? In her eyes, they are the Gamecock women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, AP, first of all, Pipkins, Dawn did complain. All right. I said that already. All right.
The chick.
See, now we getting crazy with it. All right. But to show some love and to highlight them, the squad. What's your overall thoughts of their performance? Of course, throughout. Let's put it like this. Let me put the question like this. What's your thoughts from the team's performance since the Tennessee game in the SEC tournament? If for those that don't know, that was probably their closest game this season. They won by a buzzer beater. Cardoza hitting a 3-pointer. They were down by 1 point. Cardoza, that was the closest that they came to a career. Right.
As Patrice Burgess just put in the chat, Lady Gamecock is good. The Gamecocks are good, not only with the name, but as a squad. For them to have lost all 5 of their starters to the WNBA last season. And I think in the preseason, they were ranked 6th, if I'm not mistaken, or they might have been but whatever it was incredibly disrespectful. And then people saw them play in Paris and was like, oh, wait, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they proved themselves. First time in South Carolina history that the women's Gamecocks team have gone undefeated. Dawn's won now 2 of the last 3 national championships. And next year, sorry to let the women's basketball world know, they are going to be better. For those who may have missed it, they have, again, the top class in recruiting coming in, including homegrown talent out of Camden, Miss Joyce Edwards, the 6'3". Listen, they got her listed as 6'3", but in real life, Joyce probably like 6'4" and gonna be 6'5" before it's all said and done. National Gatorade Women's Player of the Year in high school, McDonald's All-American co-MVP during that game, and she displayed that those who said, "Oh, she's just doing this against high school players," and woo woo woo, the best in the country played in that game, and she was dogging them. And so you consider that even though South Carolina has a significant amount of height and size that'll be leaving, they're replenishing. Now I can't even say replacing; they're replenishing, and so. You can look to have them in the very same place next year. And I agree with Brandon Sanders. Dawn Staley is the new Nick Saban. You go out there and show you are able to not only deal with and help coach the best, but to help them to be better themselves as well. And so I definitely give
juggernaut. Yeah,
absolutely.
Recruiting juggernaut. Who are your favorite players to watch this past season on the lady game, guys? Hey Liz, I'm with you, boo. I'm with you. All right. Who are some of your favorite players to watch though this past season?
Cardoza, just in how fundamentally she plays with the size and maneuverability. I'm excited to see Full Wiley grow, and not in size, but as a player. I think she stepped up this season. What's my little one, Johnson? She was nice with it in the championship game. Yeah,
the fair skin one that be shooting the long distance. Yeah, that's my girl right there.
But I think as a whole, just watching them in team, because even if you listen to somebody, I forget which one it was, but somebody was giving an interview and they were kind of trying to shades like, yo, so how did the upperclassmen feel like Raven? That's what it was, Raven Johnson. I watched Brandon. It said, how do you feel as a freshman? How do you think the upperclassmen feel as you, a freshman, getting this, major play time during this? And she was like, hey, Coach got us as a team. It's like we're not looking about who's what. We're looking for opportunity to step up, and they genuinely buy into that. It's a necessary thing when you have that level of talent and that many 5 stars where everybody can't do it. They played one of their former players against NC State, who, no shade to her, like, yo, if you feel like you're not a good fit or you don't want to be a part of a team like that, then go ahead and slide. We just gonna get these rings and these chips over here. But y'all boy, go ahead on and do what you're doing. And so everybody's not gonna buy into that. And I think as a whole, this team has, and it's reflective in a 38-0 record on the season.
I think to your point, every time that any of the girls, first of all, it's like Dawn had like 2.5 starting lineups this season, but with how deep the bench is. But I like what Pip said as well. She's carving her own way, making her own legacy and her own name. I like that, Pip. But relax, Pip. Relax. All right. You starting to try to throw around the tone out here. Let our people comment and interact with us a little bit. Yeah, you try to shut all of that down, man. Let everybody talk about their coaches that they compare Dawn to, man. But you're right, Pip. Dawn Staley is Dawn Staley. But every time that one of those athletes gets step on the floor, whether they are freshmen, whether they're juniors or seniors that's about to leave, they know that I have to take advantage and not take for granted this time that I have on the floor right now. Make the best pretty much decisions. Don't turn the ball over, because at any given time, if I sit down, I might not come back in. And it's like, it's not going to be like they're going to need me out there, right? Like, the most dynamic person that's on their team, they'd be like, all right, we don't need you. It's you're awesome and a great addition to what we do. Huh?
Appreciate you doing what you do.
Right.
But if you're not going to do it, we got 3 more U's behind you that will.
Yeah.
So I absolutely.
Do you think the transfer portal will affect any of the, like, is Dawn's recruitment strong enough for everyone to buy into what's going on and what they see going on, or is some people going to get antsy and enter into the transfer portal regardless, like from outside influences?
I think that it'll be the other way around. With the highest level that they are doing now, I see more people trying to come in,
sacrificing their own college career, like accolades, whatever.
And similar to Duke. Essentially, you saw it this year. There were major role players that came to the Carolina squad saying last year they saw what was the weakness in that team and said they need shooters. They need a me on that squad. And when they came, boom, they were able to fill that role immediately. And I think seeing what that transition will be, seeing that they are good, those who say, well, hey, I don't mind, I can do this, I can do that. If I'm a big, I know that this is a perfect opportunity for me to come in and fight to be a part of a championship squad and be coached by one of the greatest coaches in women's basketball history, who, Lord knows, don't nobody know who's styling her with her. I saw one say her Saran wrap, Reynolds wrap jacket and all that.
They're gonna have to take it easy on my girl now.
Listen, they got to get off. Now,
Right.
Cuzzo, I do like his perspective, and I want to see what your opinion is on it. Because EJ said somebody has to leave. I mean, what are your thoughts? There is that school of thought that says, hey, too many chefs in the kitchen, you ain't gonna be able to cook. But if you get that buy-in, they may be willing to. But do you feel like there may be some who would kind of shy away from that pressure and just look to be able to go and be a star someplace else?
That's why I was asking, because I think it's definitely a possibility when you have when you have people in your outside influences in your ear, right? You think about how many Fawalis there'll be, or how many Watkins there'll be that are looking for their opportunity. They might redshirt, or they might, give Carolina their interest and stuff after a year or two, and that picture doesn't look like how they want it to look.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they end up doing what's best for them. But, I just got to prepare for it. The way that the transfer portal is right now as well, got to prepare for, all of this hoopla and praise for Don. Let's just anticipate, and let's all prepare for the hate and the vitriol. Like we said, if we're gonna say what was said earlier, as far as the Nick Saban of and everything like that, when people start getting that type of power, we know what's coming. You know what I mean? As far as they're shooting for you, they're gunning for you to not succeed or whatnot. So I just wanted to also mention, though, Fawali's definitely a player I'm scared of for the next few years if she decides to stay her whole college career. And Watkins was a defensive force. I know they put it down on the comments earlier. Some of the other players that were pivotal in that championship game, but to me, Watkins throughout the SEC tournament and throughout the NCAA tournament, she I don't know. I'm not gonna say she showed growth, but she was one of their defensive presences, and I think she's just got tremendous upside.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Right before we get off of college basketball, though, I do want to give a shout out to the Huskies of Connecticut winning their second consecutive championship over Purdue, a score of 75-60. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck. After after the Tar Heels lost, and even really after the end of March when Clemson lost, I was like, oh, so about these women, though. And I hadn't been watching a whole lot of it. Any thoughts on any of the men's side of the tournament or the bracket?
Absolutely. It was neat seeing the Kareem. It was neat seeing the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can you hear me?
Huh?
Oh,
yeah, I can hear you.
I was about to say, what are you doing? But no, it was neat seeing the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Did you see that? The white guy from Purdue, I believe it was, or something, he's got the goggles. It looks just like, but also Eddie Winslow, Rock Hill's Eddie Winslow, and him getting his shine. That was cool as well. Hold on. Hold on. We pausing all of that stuff. It's my LB. Hold on. I think more.
Shout out to Ron Williams.
The property.
I think you're not going to read it where people can hear it, bro.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Ron, appreciate you. Huh?
You gonna read it?
Yeah, no. Ron says, I think more will try to come to the property, especially how they seen Pow revamp her career from Oregon. So very true. Some of these, yeah. South Carolina's got open arms. Like, all right, everybody compete. You know what I'm saying? Edie. So yeah, that's who I was talking about, though.
Loud, bro. Huh? You read it yourself.
I know, but no, that's what I was talking about from NC State. And my comments, they're not. I scrolled past them, so I messed my comment thing all up earlier. But yeah, what's homie's name? Is it DJ Edie?
You talking from Rock Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rock
DJ.
Hill, Eddie Winslow.
No,
Or
it's
Eddie
DJ
Winslow.
Burns, man.
Huh?
DJ Burns.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Edie was with I'm sorry, was with Thing. That's what they was talking about. Was with Purdue. I'm sorry. But
Edie's the first round.
yeah. DJ Burns. Yeah. So but about the young man's path or whatnot, because it's related to the Carolina Sports Talk. Did you want to kind of describe that to the audience as far as
So
the schools that he played for?
if I'm not, Northwestern was the high school he played for, but left and went to college. I forget where his first stop was, but that didn't work out. Went and played with Winthrop for a while and was a monster in the Big South and really made some significant strides towards being a better player. Got an opportunity as a graduate student to play at NC State and has really kind of come into the form. Now, a lot of folks were talking about who he was back then. When he was coming out, the 3 top players in the state of South Carolina were DJ Burns,
Zion,
and Ja Morant. And to be in the consideration and the conversation with those two who we've seen not only what they were able to do in college, but what they've now done in the pros, I think it's reflective of his level of talent. I don't know if there's a role for him in the NBA. He is fundamentally sound, but I think his size may be an impact in just the speed of what the game is today. I do definitely wish him much success. And who knows? I've seen several reports that reflect saying that there have been NFL scouts who want to see what he can do. And there is there is a record of, and if you look at Antonio Gates, who played no football,
right?
All he did was play football,
basketball athlete, yeah,
and transformed himself into
tight end. That thing, yeah,
tight end. My boy did a little 3-point stance. You know what I'm saying? He might can make a couple mil, a little offensive lineman, a defensive tackle or something. Who knows? Shout out to Deep saying the UConn men's team ain't no joke either. Dan Hurley is a great coach. His dad was a coaching legend in New Jersey, and his brother Bobby got 2 chips with Duke. So absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And then your boy, he tried to do his thing early. They tried to Hubert Davis out there in UConn with Kevin Ollie. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Penny didn't work. Penny didn't work. Your boy at Michigan didn't work. I mean,
Juwan.
Yeah, man, them boys on dirty, boy. But we have to get on that another day.
But salute one more time to DJ Burns or whatnot. Like you said, he kind of made a little name for himself out here this past college season. Speaking of college ball, though, I know we talked about Juju already. Okay, she's the woman Sanaa Lathan, real life Sanaa Lathan. Okay, if we want to talk about it, right? So, who would be right, and who would be Omar Epps, y'all? Well, none other than Omar Epps declared for the draft this week. Quincy McCall. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. Bronny James. Oh, the Lakers are gonna look great next year.
Yeah, no.
Thoughts on Quincy McCall? I mean, Bronny.
What?
Why, bruh?
What?
I mean, we know why. Of course, exactly. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
The answers, man.
No. The rust is perfect.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
I mean, D. He needs another year, another 3 inches pause in his height. He needs another jumper or 2. He needs a couple of
speed on the defensive end. He needs his brother's body pause. Like, no, Ronnie, why are you doing this? Like, I understand that you're LeBron James's like son. I understand that you're LeBron James Jr. My boy, you're not there yet. Now, honestly, I think he could probably cook in the G League. We might be surprised, but the NBA, is he going to transfer to the WNBA?
In the G League, bro. Like, I think, first of all, first and foremost, we have to put, not we, and I'm not including you in this when I say we, bro. I'm not including you. So just don't take this personally. But all right, Brandon. Okay, this family show still. But we have to put more respect on Austin Rivers' name, man. I believe.
Why?
I don't know why, man. It just feels like I don't know,
He just
man.
for the G League.
Oh my gosh.
You know what though? Now, I'm gonna put this up here on purpose and intentional because guess what? Pip said Bronny coming to Claflin and gave the smiley face. But you know what?
That's what he needs.
If LeBron James Jr. goes to an HBCU and not a Claflin, because CIAA could be mad at us if he come to Claflin.
Not.
But if he goes to a Hampton, a Tennessee State,
Well,
a Howard,
1 year?
for 1 year and develops his skill, it boosts that HBCU. It gets him in a position where he's getting the development he needs. So it's got to be like a strong team with a strong
as well. Absolutely.
He gets a chance to be grounded. And I believe going to an HBCU would definitely put him in a position. Exactly. NCCU with Coach Moten. Like, there are so many good stops and good opportunities where he could get that coaching and get a little grit to him. Yeah. That I think would benefit him more than going to
traditional coach in your life that is just gonna
I don't care who your daddy is, run them suicides, boy. Like that's what he needs. Because I ain't trying to call a man pampered, but he played a little softer than what I would expect of the son of LeBron James. Now his little brother,
but with respect to his health as well, though. I think,
and that's understandable. And respect, like you said, he had the health issue that his heart literally stopped.
But maybe his pops even telling him like, "Yo, do not go in hard" or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And so you never know. But at the end of the day, I think that type of situation with him going to an HBCU would be amazing for him. Now, EJ is probably right. He is almost definitely probably going to end up at Ohio State or someplace like that where it may not be a good fit. But if you look at Ja Morant, a lot of folks had some questions about Ja coming out, didn't have a whole lot of offers. He went to mid-majors, but it was the best fit for him where he could still play his style of ball, but develop into the player that we see him being and hopefully the superstar that he'll be returned to being once he gets healthy as well. So it does definitely, like Carlos says, he's got to have that dog in him. Carlos says he doesn't think he does, but I really, really believe that would be the best fit for him. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, just to your point though, like he needs an opportunity. You laughing at Brianna?
Yeah, shout out to my little sis. Bree said we had a conversation about showing some support. She's like, I don't know nothing's going on, but I'm gonna tune in. Go sports. So shout out to Bree.
Shout out. Yeah. But no, I believe that again, given an opportunity another year, depending on the program that you're at, something maybe less of a profile and stuff. You can do different things. So like players like Gilbert Arenas, and there's several other different players that learned like the scoring or the offensive aspect of the game and really dissected it, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Say for instance, he goes to a Duquesne or whatnot. Like Deke says, Bronny could go to Duquesne where his dad's high school teammate just became the head coach. But say for instance, he goes to a mid-major or just a smaller school with a smaller profile. Learn how to produce points, you know what I'm saying, on your own, or like get to the free throw line X amount of times a half or whatever like that, so that kind of, you know what I'm saying, what you're bringing to the table offensively, and then your defense can speak for itself or whatnot, or you can, you know what I mean, look to guard. But jumping him right into the league is
wild.
Yeah.
That's
with
crazy.
John Wall, just asking, but with John Wall and Boogie, they were both freshmen and then they left.
Yeah,
with Boogie Cousins and John Wall. So I think say for instance, the John Wall situation, he got drafted to a bad team because he was so highly, touted, and it's like you're gonna run through and get whatever you can get. I just saw Carlos's quote, but you can run through and do whatever you can do and get your stats off, but are you becoming a better player over the time? You know what I'm saying? Are you developing any, or are you just kind of staying in that first contract or that second contract until they like, all right, we're not renewing?
Well, we good. Holla at you. I honestly, I think that you said it and hit the head, and even with all of these places that he could go to, at the end of the day, he has that. The change of scenery, I think, is going to be the best thing for him. The expectations at USC and what they're trying to do there just wasn't a great fit for him, and so I think that he will benefit the most in
commercials and stuff.
Yeah, listen, he got to get that bread. I'm not upset with him. But in talking about change of scenery, there's another college basketball figure that was a little bit more of a mainstay that has had a change of scenery, that being one Mr. John Calipari, who has been for the last several years the head coach of the originators of the one and done down in Kentucky, switching teams from an in-conference perspective. In case you missed it, John Calipari has been named the new head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. What are your thoughts on Cal staying in the SEC and saying, yeah, nah, I'm out of here, even after his AD giving him the vote of confidence to stick around?
I didn't, excuse me, I don't know really what to think. Give the Razorbacks maybe 2 or 3 years, and they're going to be the that's Arkansas squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be kind of like, maybe one of the teams to talk about. Now, Calipari, he was at where, Memphis prior to with the Derrick Rose days.
I don't know if he was at Derrick Rose days, but I know he was there in Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of plants his flag and does his thing wherever he goes or whatnot. So I trust it. I just don't know what to make of it, or whatnot. Oh, okay, there we go. Excuse me, EJ. Kind of give me a little bit of context to that as well, but yeah.
And apparently he was there during the time.
Say it again.
I said EJ also just said that D Rose was there during Calipari and the D Rose were at the same times. So my thoughts, I like the move just because, change of scenery. We just talked about it with Bronny, how that can, revitalize him. I don't know that they were going to fire him, but at the same time, sometimes just getting out of a certain space allows you to kind of refresh and revamp yourself. We look at what Ron Rivera was. He's still a really good coach. Washington wasn't the best stop for him, but going there, he still showed, hey, I can coach. Fit matters. And I think Calipari trying to establish that winning culture down there, they got a lot of talent down there in Arkansas. Now, I will always hate Arkansas for the most selfish of reasons. For those who may not know, I'm from West Ashley in Charleston. My high school was the St. Andrews Rocks. Our crosstown rivals were the Middleton, the St. Andrews Rocks. And our crosstown rivals were the Middleton Razorbacks. And I ain't never liked no hogs. You feel what I'm saying? I don't even eat swine no more because I can't stand no hogs. So the Razorbacks, anytime I hear that, I automatically think of Middleton, and seeing that red, and it literally makes me see red. And so I'm not a fan of Arkansas. I wish Coach Cal the best, except go ahead and finish behind South Carolina in the SEC. That's all I'm hoping for. I hope Parrish, can get those boys to rebound from that early exit this year in the tourney. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, nah.
Is Arkansas and Kentucky on our side of the SEC? On South Carolina side of it?
The East and Arkansas is the West.
And then South Carolina.
But they are realigning next year with and so I'm not sure exactly, No, it literally just went where it was, man. That's it. I don't like the Razorbacks because it's Middleton High School. Shout out to all the hogs in the house.
Brandon's like, yo, but no, and then that was the rival. Then y'all had to join up, and there's probably a bunch of fights with a bunch of Razorbacks, at that time that you linked up. Only thing I know the Razorbacks for is Run DMC, Shout out to Darren McFadden. Yeah,
literally football. That's it. So talking about football, we're gonna go to NBA first. You want to run some scores, or what you want to do? It's your main man, Big Cliff, sitting in with my dog DJ Highstar. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. We got a whole bunch of guys popping in the comments. We appreciate it. Those of you who aren't in the comments, y'all ain't got to lurk in the shadows. We appreciate you. You can hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net to be a part of the show, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What's the other one? TikTok, Twitter.
What else?
All that.
What else? Okay. All right.
So without further ado, NBA.
So, here go a couple of scores from tonight. Some games that are ending. But we had the Hornets in a close one with the Hawks right now. It's 112 to 111. It looks like under a minute left there. The Raptors are losing to the Nets in another close one, 99-97, which is under 2 minutes in that game. The Mavericks right now decidedly in front of the Heat, 101-88. About 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter there. The Bucks, a Giannis-less Bucks team, 80, and that was a good Antetokounmpo joke that was told earlier. But the Bucks are over the Magic right now, 83-66. They're in the third quarter. It's the end of the third quarter for the Spurs right now. They're losing to the Thunder, 98-64. And the Cavaliers beat the Memphis Grizzlies 110-98. And the other two games for the evening, first one on ESPN at 10 o'clock will be Timberwolves and the Nuggets. And then the Suns will play the Clippers around 10:30. I did want to, pardon me. I did want to bring up some of the standings. As I mentioned earlier, Giannis just suffered a season-ending injury yesterday, so I don't know how that'll shuffle.
I missed that.
Say it again.
Oh, I didn't know it was season ending. I did miss that.
Yeah. So that shuffles up a couple of things. Very important for me, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the top four teams right now in the East is Boston, Milwaukee, New York, and Cleveland. New York and Cleveland both having 47 wins, and Milwaukee with a 48-31 record. So the only difference is New York has 32 losses and Cleveland has 33 losses. So we're right there behind Milwaukee right now. So that's why that's important to me. On the West Coast, on the other side, we have Minnesota in from first to fourth. Minnesota, Denver, the Thunder, and the Clippers actually have been playing fantastic toward the this latter part of the season. And that kind of rounds out that top four in the Western Conference. Now, what I wanted to talk about real quick was the play-in. If the playoffs started today, the play-in teams from each side. Okay, so we've got, if the playoffs were to start today, Philadelphia, Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta in the East, and then on the West we have Phoenix, Sacramento, the Lakers, and Golden State Warriors. So out of those 8 teams, what team do you not expect to hear in that mix? Or surprises you the most here in that mix?
I think the Kings.
Okay.
They've traditionally, last year they finished the number 1 overall seed.
Right.
I thought got better this year. I think the Kings are definitely probably the biggest surprise to that for me. One that I wanted, and I guess if we think about the football season, my honorable mention got to be the 76ers. I know they dealt with some injuries, but I think it's been more of subtraction by subtraction at this point, and that nucleus is all but gone and done at this point. So I don't even expect Joel Embiid to be on their squad next year. So shocker, you hear hot take, whatever you want to give it. I'm not surprised if he's gone out of there because time to blow that up. What about you? Which team of those 8 sticks out to you?
Phoenix definitely surprised me, but to your point with Sacramento, I think there's not any kind of spotlight on the guy, but shout out to him. But I think this is kind of the knock on Mike Brown, is like he'll see spurts of success, but it never seems like a consistent thing where you can kind of just trust that his name is synonymous with success. He'll see it though, like he's a great coach. But I don't know what I just haven't been watching the Kings this year that much, but I don't know if it was like injuries or just the competition in the West itself. You know what I'm saying? The elevated play of a lot of these teams, like the Thunder, of course, the Nuggets being still there and stuff like that. But yeah,
Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves actually, yes, definitely the way that they perform.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I got to give some love to the Timberwolves because when they started bringing in all these big men, we was like, yo, what are y'all doing? But apparently they knew something, and they're sitting on top.
Anthony Edwards.
Listen, Jordan Jr.
knew like that the shift of the face of the franchise is going to start moving from Cat to Anthony Edwards, and let's build this team up. You still got Cat, which is crazy, right?
Rudy Gobert is now. Playoff time, it will become different, similar to what I've talked about with the Minnesota Vikings in past years. You can win a bunch of games during the regular season, but when the postseason comes and people know how to elevate their games, what do you then do to elevate yours? Because what is allowing them to win so fundamentally now, I think was going to turn around and be kind of a hindrance for them when it comes to the playoffs. I don't, because again, Hack-a-Shaq, if you put him on the line, he is a liability. And so he's not going to be able to have and enjoy the extended minutes that he has throughout the regular season. So yeah, they're the number one seed, but we'll check it out and see what's what come maybe second round of the playoffs and see where they are at this point. Shout out to EJ. He says, I know the Kings will mess you up on a parlay, mess up a parlay on you quick. Deke, given his prediction, says, this is my prediction on the NBA media rights and NBA expansion. ESPN, ABC, and TNT retain NBA rights, and Amazon and NBC come aboard as network partners. The NBA will expand to Seattle and Vegas in a few years. Deke, not only do I agree with you, but here's my hot take. If I can find the music.
It's hot.
Hot takes.
Happy birthday to
him.
I don't care. Good luck.
Good luck. It's been a while.
The NBA will not only expand in a few years, but they will announce that in 2025, they expect to expand to Seattle and to Las Vegas. I don't expect it to take more than a year. And it's about time because they hungry for more money, and to get to 32, just like the NFL, they're gonna love it. And it's in those two cities. Seattle has been hungry since the Sonics left. Vegas is already booming with every other sport having franchise there. If you look at the Vegas Aces and the reception that they get there, it's automatic at this point, and it's just a matter of time. And like I said, that time will see 2025.
Let's not forget my hot take from earlier this season, but that leads me into this quick question here for the audience out there as well. As you, what's up, Eric Tyner? What would be the next international city that we see a team in? So those that don't know, the Memphis Grizzlies used to be in Vancouver, Canada. Right now, of course, we have Toronto.
Blue Jays.
That's the only international team, right? And only team that's outside of the U.S.
Oh, the Blue Jays used to be up there too.
Well, no, I'm talking about basketball though. I'm saying.
Oh yeah. For right now.
So what city would you be able to see? Yeah.
Honestly, Mexico City. I can see there being
right on time. Right. But that's a great point. Got a lot of Americans moving out there to Mexico as well. It's just it's a good geography for them having to, the competition and playing others and people coming to them as far as like traveling and stuff like that. That's not a bad location. So I could definitely see that as well. If you could do me a favor, I was about to say, and take this whole little commercial off of my face. But no, could you queue up for me a little bit of 50?
Okay. With the hot takes, or I got money.
Oh, that's 50 saying that on the hot take? That's not 50, yo. Play the I Get Money, man. You showing your age. Play the I Get Money. Hey. Shout out to Dreamville. 50 was out there. Okay. I need you to go ahead and cue up a round of applause. This one is for the old guys, all right? This one is for the old fellas, Cliff. It's for us. Drew Holiday agrees to a 4-year, $135 million extension with the Celtics. The player is declining the $37.3 million player option that he has for the 24-25 season to sign that long-term deal that'll take him through the 27-28 season. You talk about a lot of NBA players that are on their like third plus contracts, right? 4th, 5th contracts. All they want is that security a lot of times. And this provides this to them. We know that NBA money is guaranteed as well. I think we saw the game yesterday, which was kind of not deja vu, but like a Twilight Zone type of thing, because Drew is playing against the Bucks and excuse me, and Patrick Beverly was on the Bucks, but like as far as size and stature and hair, like I kept kind of thinking that was Drew or whatever like that again. You know what I'm saying? But what do you think? What do you think about that?
You just said it. I like the move for a couple of reasons. One, young man deserves to get paid. And two, it's very much going to take him on out to retirement. Let him go on head on and do what he got to do and play at a high level until he can't no more and take that money and go about his business. I don't like the move, though, because as Deke said, it is a good move by the Celtics, who
Oh, you don't like?
been
Oh,
just
wait,
getting talent
the whole
and
time.
performing. And it's like, yo,
Yeah.
we get it, Celtics. Stop it already. And as a Lakers fan, it's like, I'm
It's like y'all are making it easier and easier for Jason Tatum. That's what y'all are
Yes.
spreading the floor out and making it easier and easier for Jason Tatum to be like, oh, all right, this is gonna be my squad. Oh, okay.
I
Like
see how-
everybody else got the bread, actually. Like, yeah. So he actually becomes the fourth player to sign a guaranteed deal. That's more than $100 million at 33 years or older. 33 years of age or older. So that's that list includes LeBron, Steph Curry, and Al Horford, and Drew Holiday.
Did
And
Celtics give Horford that deal as well?
they may have because that might have been the Celtics that gave him that. But it puts him into a prestigious class, but it also speaks to the professional that he's been over his career, to always kind of be able to keep a contract and for teams to see the value in you. Drew has always been a pivotal piece on the teams that he's been on. Now, let's see. Okay, I wanted to read a couple of comments before we got to the next story. Because
EJ says, I can't wait till the Surviving LeBron documentary comes out in 2030. Deke says that the Celtics are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sometimes. Good team, but you're not sure you're going to get which team. Absolutely, as evidenced by the thrashing they took last night. E-Tyner, we got to get our resident Panthers correspondent back on with us. Well, statements are motivated by Lakers fandom are hot. Or maybe we shouldn't get him back on.
I read that.
Listen, it's like that, E-Tyner. I'm a Laker lover, yes. I don't really care about LeBron, but it is what it is. Yes.
I've gotta figure out a good song to have you play. Like, I play my theme music and all of that. Then we have the I get money for whenever people come into, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't listened to the DJ Blaze radio show, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and subscribe to that. But they have a segment on there called Scammer of the Week, right? You familiar?
Fraud today. I did a good job today. I did fraud today.
Because I'm committing fraud.
Yeah.
Fraud today. Hey, I did a good job today. Then the song just goes like one extra every time, like that. All right. Yo, Brandon, can you turn that off? But so yeah, matter of fact, that would be the perfect song to play right. Can you give me that quick, just on a bed, a calm bed? I did fraud today while I announced this.
I did fraud today.
Okay.
I did a good job today. I did fraud today. I did a good job today.
All right.
I did fraud today. I did a good job.
You can't forget, because these blessings come from God. I'm committing fraud. I did fraud today. Hey, okay.
All right, so you're Scammer of the Week.
Goes to Toronto Raptors Jonte Porter, who could be facing a permanent ban from the association. If for those that are not familiar, Toronto Raptors forward Jonte Porter is currently under investigation by the league following multiple instances of betting irregularities over the past several months, and he could be banned permanently if what he's accused of is true. Adam Silver has coined it a cardinal sin. So that's like what the media is even running with. Sorry, Eric. No, we can't. Eric trying to put out there, we can skip over my Raptors, man. And especially after what he just now wrote about the Lakers fandom. No, we can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. And I'm not in Big Cliff's corner, Eric. You know that. But I'm sorry, bro. We got to talk about this. So,
It's black.
all right. So, it's a bunch of rigmarole that Adam Silver is saying to the press about, we can't stand for this and everything like that. What's this that they're talking about, right? Because there's several different instances that they're investigating as far as betting irregularities. But I'll just give you guys an example of what happened. Okay, suspicions arose actually originally on January 26th and on March 20th with prop bets that involve Porter. So one of the games, I believe the over-under prop bet for him was 7.5 points. He leaves with a stomach ache after the game. Fine, harmless. No red flags there. You wake up the next morning and the bookies all around the world. And not to mention these multi-trillion-dollar betting companies and agencies that have just, started to form and come up. They all are seeing that their biggest payout is for Jontay Porter. Not the Lakers, not the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl next year, none of that. But Jontay Porter scoring under 7.5 points or whatever like that. So it's like, wait, huh?
Bruh.
How
dumb you got.
I mean, but look, we're gonna have to start, like, we're gonna have to make a support group or like a Facebook group of these guys, right? Because we had what was the football player, the Atlanta player, I want to say,
Calvin
Ridley. Yeah, it was Ridley. Right. So yeah, but it sounds like Adam Silver's ready for the Pete Rose treatment of homie. But continue with what you were saying. How dumb,
bro? How dumb you got to be to, like, first of all, who did you tell? Second of all, why you tell him, boy? Third of all, bro, how dumb is you? Like, I get everybody wanting to try to make some money and try to get a little hustle, but bro, you're in the National Basketball Association. For you to scam bookies and we've talked about it on the show, how large gambling is at this point. And you're gonna go and like try to scam the system as an athlete. Now, if he just got a bunch of money and got like, yo, it's worth it, then I can see that. But other than that, it's like, bro, come on, dog. Like, you in the NBA, they go see it. Dog, they're gonna know. They're gonna know.
Just said, the Nets just beat the Raptors, so I'm pretty sure that he bet on this game too. I'm pretty confident that he bet on this game too. So yeah, it's been a while since we've recorded, so we haven't even been able to, because baseball season is kicked back off. Shout out to the Yankees, but we have not been able to talk about Ohtani and the Ohtani situation. I don't believe.
I thought we did.
I'd have to look at my notes, but nevertheless, we're just starting to see this type of stuff right now that gambling is, again, above water or above sea level, where it's all fair game and it's not taboo anymore or anything like that. What'd you say?
I say it's NIL at this point.
Exactly. So, when you were younger, you never expected a couple of things in life. You never expected college players to get paid money to play basketball or play their sports. You never expected marijuana to be legal in all of the states that it is. And you never expected for betting to be, for betting and gambling to be at the forefront of every advertising agency nowadays.
Absolutely. Now, you talk about, as you allude to football, definitely want to give a shout out to two of our favorite HBCUs this weekend having their spring games. The Benedict Tigers in the post coach era, post undefeated era, Coach Chennis Berry era, having their spring game down there in Columbia, and a little bit further south in Orangeburg. South Carolina State University Bulldogs begin their Chennis Berry era with their spring game as well. So big, huge shout out. You didn't announce
either game.
No, it's this Saturday coming.
So what game will you be announcing?
So as we move forward into the NFL, I'm announcing the one that I was asked to come and announce. And I'm going to leave that right there. As we move into the NFL, Big Berg, shout out to Orangeburg, the Bulldogs. They're gonna be something special this year. They really are. They got some talent down there in Orangeburg. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, I'm excited to see what the Bulldogs do this year. But
You going to see them Saturday, right? Go ahead.
yes, I will see the South Carolina State Bulldogs as I announced from Oliver C. Dawson Stadium in beautiful Flowertown, Orangeburg, South Carolina. But this is High Star's like just favorite thing just to do is just to pick with your boy. But Carolina Sports Talk, your man Big Cliff sitting in with DJ High Star. We've been rocking with you guys all night. We appreciate you. We're gonna talk a little NFL and we're gonna get up out of your hair. As some of you may know, there have been some trades, some new teams and new players with new teams. High Star, who kind of sticks out to you with regards to new players in new places, new faces in new places, if you would? Well, for me, it's got to be the Carolina Panthers signing some homegrown talent, a young man that definitely probably should have been here probably 2 seasons ago. Former #1 pick, Gamecock himself, Booger, or what do they call him? Not Booger, Dirt, Donkey, Dink, Stink, something.
Really? He's got a Rock Hill nickname?
Oh, yeah, big. Oh, yeah.
It's home country Rock Hill nickname.
Yeah, because first of all, when you 6'12", and he South Point played basketball and football and everything right there. So Jadeveon Clowney is now a Carolina Panthers. We are excited to see what he's going to do there.
Especially after losing Burns.
Yeah, that's big. But honestly, as quiet as it's kept, and we'll talk a little bit. Well, let's just jump straight into the Panthers.
Let's talk about it now.
There are a lot of folks.
I was going to say Stephon Diggs is my choice, but go ahead.
And shout out to EJ mentioning that. Diggs to the Texans is crazy. Now, I will say, and we got to talk about that too, but that will be the downfall and the beginning of the end of the Bills dynasty.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were about to say something about CJ Stroud, man. I was about to. What? Relax.
I ain't got no love for that cat. He's supposed to be a Panther, but that ain't his fault. But nonetheless, the Panthers have made a lot of significant moves throughout the season. Our new GM, Dan the Man Morgan, and our new head coach, Dave Canellis, have done some things that have drawn at least the attention of many pundits across the NFL and saying the moves that they needed to make, they have made. In addition to locking up 2 very, very pivotal points on the guard on the offensive line, they've solidified now the offensive line. They have almost in sorts had a fire sale. They've gotten some new wide receivers with trading Dante Jackson to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Deontay Johnson. Again, we talked about Clowney. It's just it's a lot of players that have come and signed on. Some of them we had to pay a little bit more than average price for, just as a means of being a doormat of the NFL for the last 2 seasons. But the moves that they were supposed to make, they've made. Me and you talked about it last night, and I said how at this point I'm neither excited nor disappointed in the moves in the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm at a show me spot. I'm not, I'm the angry fan with the umbrella when it's raining. Like, I don't like you, but I'm not gonna let you get wet, Paul. So, what are your thoughts on the moves that the Panthers made?
Did we lose Frankie Louvu as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lost in the free agency.
My thoughts, though, I'm optimistic about the Deontay Johnson situation. I may have mentioned it on our last podcast. I may have mentioned on our last episode, or this may have been Conversations in the Shed. But I think that he has an opportunity to build a chemistry with he has an opportunity to build a chemistry with Bryce Young or whatnot. So I'm just gonna be optimistic about that. Of course, the Adam Thielen thing, I thought he didn't Adam Thielen, in podcast worlds is a B mic, right? So he can't carry a vibe and be like a game changer like that. He can be effective if he had C mics and maybe some other complimentary B mics next to him. He can then get busy, but when the focus is purely on him and he's like the #1 guy and stuff like that, he wasn't getting separation and all that stuff last year. It wasn't.
So E-Tiner's comment of the guy who gave Adam Thielen his best year since 2018 was directly in response to EJ said, who's the
Who's
Panthers quarterback?
Right.
Bryce Young. Yeah, but he literally did. But I want to go back to his comment about the Burns trade. Everybody, Etana said everybody calls the Burns trade a bad move, but I think it's a great move. DJ Wonnum puts out just under the same production and is around the same age for a lot less money. So I'm going to say this at Etana, you're right, and give a caveat. I understand why a lot of people are upset. Last season, or before the beginning of this season, the LA Rams offered 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns in the trade, and the Panthers declined. I think at that point they had expectations of what they were going to be able to do as a team and had him as a focal point within that. So I understand why a lot of folks are upset, thinking, well, we could have got 2 firsts for him. We didn't. So at this point, I think the package that we got for him was fair because we got compensation for a player that very easily could have walked for nothing. And so to have gotten something for him, I'm appreciative of that. And on that second point that you made about DJ Wonnum, you are absolutely correct. He's not as big of a name, nor is he as flashy, but his output and production is absolutely there. And so him coupled with Clowney on the other side, I think are going to still be able to allow us to honestly have a really, really great defense on season this year. I fully expect that they're not done. We know that there are some big name free agents out there. My boy, I don't always forget his name, even though his sister still coach at the school. Played with us for 1 season and out of Patriots. Carolina Gamecock also. Lord have mercy. What's his name? Gilmore is. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore. They here in the Rock, they call him Gilly.
You're welcome.
But Gilmore is still a free agent. The Cowboys don't seem to have interest in signing him. There are reports that Gilmore is interested in making a return to the Carolinas. Being this close to home is definitely, absolutely, probably attractive to him at this point in his career. Panthers going, listen, if we got to get a luxury tax or whatever.
A couple years ago.
Say again?
Similar to when we had Peanut Tillman to me a couple years ago.
And he's still playing at a high level. He had 8 picks last year with the Cowboys. And so I know that he can get that same type of season and production here with the Panthers. This one season, 8 games that he was here, he had 3 picks then. And so I'm all on board and bringing Stephon Gilmore back to Charlotte and having him as a part of the franchise. And I think, like, again, you add him plus some depth and speed throughout the draft. I'm not going to say it. I just want him to come home. I'm going to just leave it there. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore played for the Panthers the year that he was traded from the New England Patriots. He played 8 or 9 games with us, including
a partial season.
Yeah, and his first game back was in Atlanta, and we was out there, man. We was staying with Steph, and man, Gilly lit it up, including a game-saving, a game-winning or sealing. Yeah, I call it a game-sealing interception that year. So. Talking about, I just want the Panthers to win the Super Bowl every year. They say the tax is gonna go down. So, yes, sir. Anything else? And any other free agents stand out to your high star before we get up out of here?
I did see that. So our man Cameron Jarrell, right? That's his middle name.
Cameron Jarrell Newton, correct?
He was on Club Shay. I don't know how many of y'all caught that, but he was talking about the Falcons. Yeah, exactly, EJ. You see where I'm going with this. He was talking about the Falcons though, and he's pretty much saying like, yo, for the money that they paid Kirk Cousins, they could have got Cam Newton, Justin Fields, and Michael Vick all for that price. You know, and he quoted for saying, I'm better and exposing the truth. Thoughts?
One thing folks can't do is say that Kirk Cousins doesn't own a ski mask and a gun, because that fella been robbing teams for years.
You ever seen his family?
Nah.
He's got mad kids, I want to say. It was
so here working. I do this for y'all.
Pretty much. But yeah, and then more or less like The RG, we've seen this the past couple months. The RG3s of the world, the Cam Newtons of the world. Cats is like
I'm
just
still
like
available.
passive aggressively, yeah, throwing their name in.
You know, I haven't retired yet. No, we don't care that you
Oh
haven't
my
retired yet,
gosh,
bro.
man, yo. And on his podcast, he'll say, you know what I'm most happy about whenever he's talking to, people. What I'm most happy about is that the terms that I went out on, it was just simply teams saying, they don't see the value in me being on their team. It wasn't because I was a woman beater or because I was, caught drunk. He just, throwing everybody else that's in the league under the bus,
Right.
essentially. But like, yo,
Just
but the reason that they don't got me is just because, my talent. I feel where you're coming from, but it's like, that Al Bundy syndrome of poke high. You know what I mean?
Or even I won the city a championship. Jay
Yeah.
Pitts for the team, man.
So
But yeah, no.
and it's like, is it that Cam doesn't see that the owners is not rocking with him? Because I mean, the player's gonna
No.
rock with him regardless, but he just doesn't. Is he delirious to that?
Yes. When you have reached a certain echelon, and I'm not going to call no names, but you can probably draw some parallels through some college superstars of yesteryear that when they were around, they were that guy. And when they weren't, folks forgot about them and they can't conceive or understand that when you're not on a yard shimmying or hopping no more, like you done, you gone. And so it's the same with Cam. I feel like having been the MVP, having made it to a Super Bowl and believing that, hey, I'm that guy. And in a lot of ways he was, you don't easily let that go. And for him to just not had a major injury, or even like you said, had one of those other life-changing type of situations being the reason why, he's still holding on to that hope, similar to like
Right. And then he's complete. He's healthy. He's slinging around, dreadheads and stuff like that. He's healthy, but yeah, nah, bro. Father Time is undefeated.
Derrick Henry to the Ravens. Thoughts?
We talked a little bit about that our last show, I want to say, but I love it. And they just, you know what I'm saying? They just put their name back in contention and they just put their name back out there. Like, y'all better keep talking about us as well. If y'all talking about contenders, don't forget us now. So, feel bad for Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and and Cleveland, but
Since he's going to win the division next year.
Okay.
When that guy
Joe
comes
Burrow,
back.
I was about to say Joe Burrow, a healthy Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase.
And they're going to expect them to be defensive heavy. If they draft some linebackers and or corners, they will win their division next year.
So they're essentially what we thought Josh Allen and Steph Diggs should be.
Yes.
They're going
Absolutely.
to be the unstoppable connection.
Thoughts on Saquon to the Eagles?
Nice. Remember again, like those were the initial trades and stuff that we was talking about because
they were free agents when I thought we the last recorded in March.
They got signed because I'm saying so we were outside of the shed and we were talking with Tamika, the Giants fan from the shed, for those that are wondering. And we were explaining to her, the situation and why
he when he be running the routes, they just don't be blocking for him. But you know what I mean? Shout out to the folks at the shed. Conversations at the shed, man. It's something different, bro. Man, let's get up out of here. Let these people go on with their wonderful Wednesday, man. Anything you want to highlight before we get up out of here, man?
Yes. Thank you for asking. Just a couple things, and I'm gonna keep it very short, very brief. I like that. I'm gonna keep it very short, very brief. First of all, young athletes out there. It's a funny guy, man. Young athletes out there. It's all sincerity. There's Uncle High Star talking to you. Y'all gotta watch out for these predators, these lady predators, man. All right, somebody's got to say it. Okay, on this sports show, I don't know I'm gonna be the one to say it. Young male athletes, y'all need to be watching out for these old cougars that are going around. I know you love it for the moment. 18 years is a long time. Okay. Second thing, real quick. Do you know what the drummer named his two newborn daughters? And a
do you
1 and a 2. Thanks for queuing that one up, buddy.
That is finally going to do it for this episode of Carolina Sports Talk. Thank you again for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. Next time, tell your smart speaker, play Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff at carolinasportstalk.net, or join us live the next time that we out here. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, or hit us up on TikTok or Twitter. All of the above. X. This is Big Cliff. This is another episode of Carolina Sports Talk. Till then, peace.
Your attention, please. Halfway. Halfway.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
My back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what
Well,
portion?